Somewhere right now, a pilot is sitting in a dark room, hands on a yoke that isn't attached to any aircraft, landing a plane that doesn't exist in a storm that was never real. And in 8 months, when that storm actually happens at 30,000 feet, their hands will already know exactly what to do. You have the same simulator. You've just never been taught how to use it on purpose. Think of a moment you'd take back if you could. A conversation that went sideways, a decision you second-guess, a reaction you wish had been calmer, braver, sharper. Most people replay that moment the exact same way every time it resurfaces. Same dialogue, same wrong turn, same wince. Each replay just deepens the groove of the version that already happened, the one you didn't want. But there's a pilot's trick hiding in that habit, if you know where to look. Before a pilot ever takes a real aircraft into a real storm, they've already landed in that storm 100 times, in a simulator. Same instruments, same shaking yoke, same alarms. Their hands already know what to do before the real sky ever tests them, because the simulator builds the same muscle memory the real thing would without the same risk. Your brain runs a version of that simulator too. Research on mental rehearsal, sometimes called motor imagery, shows that when you vividly imagine performing an action, you activate a meaningful overlap of the same circuits you'd use to actually perform it, motor regions, the cerebellum, the same coordination systems. Your brain, to a real degree, doesn't fully separate a vividly imagined rep from a physically performed one. So here's the upgrade. Instead of replaying the bad moment exactly as it happened, which only reinforces that outcome, you run it again on purpose and you change the ending. This isn't just comforting self-talk. There's something specific happening in how memory works that makes this matter. Every time you recall a memory, it isn't pulled up like a fixed, untouchable photograph. It's pulled up unlocked, briefly malleable in a state researchers call reconsolidation, before it gets filed back away. That window is small, but it's real. Replaying the scene with a better response, a calmer tone, a braver choice, gives your brain a second version to file alongside the first. One with a different ending, fired and practiced enough times to start feeling like the more familiar one. Think of it like a snow globe. The old scene is still in there, you're not erasing it. But each time you turn it over gently and let it settle a little differently, the flakes land a little less sharply than before. Here's how you actually run the simulator on purpose, starting today. First, pick one moment, not your whole history, one specific scene. Trying to rewrite everything at once just produces noise. One scene, run well, is worth more than 10 scenes run vaguely. Second, change one specific thing, not the whole script. The tone of your voice, the pace of your breathing, the one sentence you wish you'd said. Small, specific changes are easier for the brain to actually rehearse and hold on to than a totally different imagined life. Third, run it slowly, with detail, more than once. Not a flash of a thought, a real few seconds of vivid imagining. The way a pilot doesn't glance at the simulator, they sit in it. Do this 2 or 3 times over a few days, not once, and done. Reps build the new pathway the same way they build any other. A man had one specific conversation with his father that he'd replayed with regret for 15 years, the moment he stayed silent when he wished he'd spoken up. Every time it resurfaced, it came with the same sting, the same script, the same silence playing out exactly as it had the first time. He started running it differently, not pretending it hadn't happened, but giving himself in the simulator the words he wished he'd said. Slowly, deliberately, a few times a week. Months later, a similar moment came up with someone else entirely. A different room, a different person, the same old instinct to go quiet rising up. And for the first time, the rehearsed version was the one that came out of his mouth, not the silent one. He hadn't just imagined a better version of the past. He'd logged the flight hours for the next time it mattered. Let's run one simulation together right now. If you can, let your eyes close and let your breathing settle. Bring to mind one moment, not your biggest one, just one that's been sitting with you. Let the scene form clearly. Where you were, who else was there. Now gently change one thing. Maybe it's your tone. Maybe it's the words you say next, the ones you wished you'd had in the moment. Let the new version play out, slowly, all the way to the end. Notice how it feels in the body to watch yourself respond the way you wanted to. That feeling is the rep landing. Run it once more, the same new ending, a little more familiar this time. When you're ready, let the scene settle and open your eyes, carrying those logged hours with you. You don't have to wait for the real moment to come around again to find out who you'll be in it. Fly it in the simulator first. When the real sky gets rough, your hands will already know the way. This is the Notes on Growth. Best of luck. Love, Growth Team.